Hello everyone, I am Remi Banu, Assistant Professor in English, Sita Lakshmi Ramaswamy College. The topic of my presentation is Disability Studies in Literature and Overview. In this presentation, we will be seeing what is disability studies, origin of disability studies, why do we need disability studies, and how is disability represented in fictions. Disability studies emerged as an independent academic field in the 1980s that examined the meaning, nature, and consequences of disability as a complex social phenomenon. Inspired by UPIAS, that is, the Union of the Physically Impaired Against Segregation, the Society for Disability Studies was started in 1982 by a group of American academicians led by prolific writer and activist Irving Kenneth Zola. Zola was born into a working-class Jewish household in Boston in 1935. His experience of being afflicted by polio and the consequences of a serious road accident made him move into the academic field of health and illness. It is unfortunate that disabled individuals face oppression and challenges in various aspects of life, including accessibility, employment, and social inclusion. Zola says that people with disability have long been treated as an oppressed minority. If one has been oppressed for thousands of years, one does not gain voice overnight. It will take them time to speak out, to learn what they have lost, to articulate what they need, says Zola. Disability studies is both interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. It intersects and overlaps with academic disciplines like humanities, science, and social science. Disability studies focuses on how disability is constructed, viewed, and understood culturally, politically, economically, and socially. Disability studies tries to understand how cultures respond and react to bodies that are perceived to be abnormal in some way. Disability studies uses a critical lens similar to fields such as gender studies, Chicano studies, and queer studies to interrogate truths and uncover subjugated knowledge. Why disability literature? Literature is a vehicle to highlight the issues faced by disabled people. People with disability make up approximately 15% of the world population. Leader Edward Roberts, the pioneering activist of disability rights movement, called disabled people one of the largest minority groups in the nation. Introducing disabilities in literature can promote inclusivity, raise awareness, and foster empathy. Disability is another aspect of humanity, and we should not ignore this reality. To make disabled readers understand that their stories are worth telling, disability literature assists people with disabilities in developing self-esteem and sense of purpose. To reflect the world through the eyes of someone fighting an internal battle every day, whether the struggle is depression, social anxiety, faulty genes, or broken limbs, they deserve to see themselves as the heroes of fiction. To see disabled people of all colors, cultures, languages living in fiction occupying all the same human spaces that abled people are welcome to occupy. Disability is part of who they are and not their entire story. Disability fiction is also called as illness fiction or disfigurement fiction. Disability fiction features characters with disabilities encompassing a wide range of genres and themes. It provides insight into diverse perspectives. It breaks stereotypes surrounding disabilities. It delves into the nuances of living with a disability. Disability representation in literature can have a significant impact on society, especially on children when introduced in juvenile literature. When children and young adults are exposed to books that portray characters with disabilities, they can learn about their own feelings towards their peers with disabilities, reflect on similarities between themselves, and become aware of the everyday life of a child with an impairment. They can learn to understand the challenges their peers with disabilities face every day. Fiction that portrays characters with impairment helps readers become aware of, understand, and finally accept their peers, thereby promoting acceptance and empathy. The following are some of the disability fictions. Wonder by R.J. Palacio, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, Pet by Ms.A.K.Remi. The main plot of Wonder is that the protagonist, August, a 10-year-old with facial differences, goes to a traditional school for the first time in 5th grade. In school, August makes new friends, has conflicts with friends, and deals with a bully. The experiences help August to see that he is capable of being independent, solving his own problems. This novel supports the development of personal power in the readers with impairment by portraying the protagonist as a strong and credible individual. The Fault in Our Stars is a heart-wrenching novel by John Green. It tells the story of two teenage cancer patients who fall in love. It is a beautiful tale of love, friendship, and the fragility of life. Pet is a novel by Ms.A.K.Remi, a non-binary Nigerian Tamil writer. This is a charming and darkly whimsical story about a black transgender girl, Jam, who becomes friend with a mysterious creature that escapes from an artist's canvas, whose talent is sniffing out monsters in a world that claims they don't exist anymore. It is a novel that delivers emotional revelations on how, in a moment, reality can shift beneath our feet and how uncomfortable the truth can be. I wish to point out that not all disabilities are visible. There are diverse nature of disabling conditions which can include mental illness, brain injuries, addiction, neurological disorders, learning differences, and cognitive dysfunctions. Let us recognize and understand the experiences of people living with a disability. Let us look forward toward a world in which a person isn't characterized by their disabilities but rather their abilities. Let us make a commitment to create a world where all individuals are bestowed with equal human rights. I conclude my presentation by quoting Robert M. Hensel, the Guinness World Record holder for being the longest non-stop wheelie in a wheelchair. I don't have a disability, I have a different ability. Thank you.